Alright, I'm going to be getting into my Super Nintendo games now. Just want to lay out a couple here that I think are more interesting. This is not nearly all of them, but this is all my boxed ones. And a few of the better ones. Demon's Crest, which is one of my favorite games in the system. Well, if you've seen the Happy Nerds talk about it, you know. Earthbound, same deal with that one. I never really thought that Earthbound was a rare or hard to come by or even unknown game, because everyone I knew played it. Everybody had it, and everybody knew it was awesome because I came from a family of RPG players. So, Secret of Mana. Hey, Ignition Factor is a really, really cool firefighting game. And there's actually two firefighting games for the Super Nintendo. The other one's called The Fireman, I think. And this one takes a more realistic approach than that one. There's no bosses or anything. Like in The Fireman, there's like bosses made of fire. This is just like you rescue people, you use different firefighting tools. It's really, really fun game, actually. Seventh Saga, one of my favorite RPGs for the Super Nintendo. It's just generic cookie cutter RPG, which is something that honestly I don't think you see enough of. I just like grinding. You know, I don't want complex customization sometimes. Sometimes I just want a standard RPG where I level up to level 7 and that means I get Fire Spell or something like that. Gun Force, which I'm only showing you because it has the funniest name ever, which is Gun Force Fire or Battle Fire Engulfed Terror Island. Just an all-around hilariously bad, broken, glitchy, like unfinished mess. It feels like a ROM hack that wasn't finished. It's so bad. I got a boxed MK3. Let's see. Boxed. Yeah, I'll just go like this. Boxed cleaning kit. An empty box with Soul Blazer, which I wish I had that game because the Gaia trilogy, probably my favorite Super Nintendo games. The Illusion of Gaia's tied with Chrono Trigger, I would say, is my favorite Super Nintendo game. Breath of Fire, which another game that has my. This is it's in terrible shape because it was my uncle's, and the maps have his just foul-mouthed notes written all over them, and so does my Final Fantasy 3 back there, which a lot of collectors probably cringe at that thought, but for me it ups the nostalgia value. There's nothing more nostalgic than flipping through those notes and hearing my uncle scream at his TV screen like. Draken, just it's a decent underrated RPG. It's got some issues, like you really got to know how to play it before you can. You cannot just jump into that game, because I think there's one castle where there's, with no indication, trying to walk into this castle, a shark will just jump up and instantly kill one of your characters. Just no indication whatsoever. There's no way to avoid it or anything. Super Tennis. These games I only got because I found them at a thrift store. And they were so cheap. It was like a box Super Nintendo game. You can't turn it down for. I think I paid under $1 for both of those. This one especially because it has the bags and everything, and it still has that awesome kick-ass Zelda poster in it, which I'm gonna hang up once I get a game room. Mario Kart. That was more my dad's game than mine. I've never really been a big fan of the series. I've always played them, with the exception of Double Dash. I never really cared for any of them all that much. Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 3, this booklet has a whole bunch of my uncle's notes written all over it too. Which actually, kind of want to go through, because to me, this shit's hilarious. My sister keeps telling me I need to start a blog called My Angry Uncle Bernie, but me, this stuff is funny. I can have a lot of fun just going through this book and see if I can find, like, if you see here, he's just got stuff written like under fake mustache. He says it would be okay if it didn't waste a turn. True Knight, it says this item offers protection to members of your party who are low on hit points, and he wrote, "I'd like to see it happen." With White Wind, it says this spell hits your party with a tornado that takes 90% of hit points, and he wrote underneath, "It doesn't do fuck all to enemy, biggest piece of shit in the game." Just stuff like that. I have a lot of fun going through that. Box Link to the Past, Box Lufia 1. I want to get Lufia 2. That's one of the few SNES RPGs I'm missing. Super Bowling, Toddlers. A kind of cool Lemmings clone. Nothing really special, but Tetris, Dr. Mario, another Super Mario World. Box Super Game Boy. This is in perfect condition with all the posters and everything, except for this little rip up here. But Sky Blazer, an awesome platformer. One of my favorite 2D platformers. Sim Earth, Secret of Evermore. I love this game. I'm on the fence, honestly, which one I like more, Evermore or Mana. But if this had a 2-player mode, this would easily edge out Secret of Mana for me. Mario RPG, great game. And Chrono Trigger, as I mentioned, one of my all-time favorite games, if not my all-time favorite game. Got the Earthbound Strategy Guide, which is an awesome read, whether you're playing the game or not. Just really, really cool, well laid out strategy guide that just doesn't read like a strategy guide. It's just awesome. And then this is the Nintendo Power Edition of the Final Fantasy III strategy guide, and this is hilarious. I love going through this, and again, because of those notes. And I realize that 90% of you will not care about this and will think it's just stupid and it wastes the collector's value. But if video games are about nostalgia, this is pure nostalgia for me. Hey. Yeah. And it's funny reading through this with knowledge of the game. If you played the game before, a lot of these gripes you will agree with. But this guy, the main reason for it, he wrote so much in there, is because this guide has so many flaws. There's so much stuff in it that is just flat out wrong. It lists some spells that are not in the game. The Colosseum section is, I swear they just went through and made it up, because none of it's right. And so I think at one point he'd planned to send it back to Nintendo, thinking that they would see what they did wrong. But other than that, I mean, he's a bachelor. I don't know what his mindset was, who he was rating this for, but yeah, that's enough talk about my messed up family life. There's my boxed SNES games, and then I'll head back into the game room for the rest of the collection.